The Thursday night Titans-Jags game was painful as advertised, mostly a joyless slog in which, let's face it, the Titans proved they're more terrified of their former number 2 overall pick and a veteran than the Jags are of their 6th round rookie. Gardner Minshew, I think, will probably wind up being a bit oversold on the basis of this game. Remember, there used to be people who were very excited about Nick Mullins too. But I want to start with Leonard Fournette, and then later in the show, let's get off that smelly game and look at some fun old film on Dalvin Cook. So Fournette was one of the 2 players who started in most fantasy leagues Thursday night. The other was Derrick Henry, who didn't play any better or worse than Fournette did, but lucked into a 1-yard touchdown after a defensive penalty. I'm showing you this montage from Fournette to say there are multiple levels to bad NFL analysis. On the one hand, if Fournette's night hadn't ended the way it did, we'll get to that, you'd have had people saying, well, Fournette's terrible. Look at the numbers, that's obvious. But what happened to both starting running backs in this game was, if the defense doesn't respect the vertical passing game, they'll play man on the outside and they'll plug the box. And you tell me, on the plays I'm showing you here, where was Fournette supposed to go? It's true, when we draft a running back, we're drafting his offense too. This isn't really even poor offensive line play. It's stubborn play calling and failure to audible out of plays that weren't going to work. And admittedly, it's a kid quarterback in a game where you're leading all night. Fournette largely had to take his lumps. Also, though, let's not completely ignore the limitations of the player. I want to pause this one the instant Fournette plants his right foot. This game just happened a few hours ago. We don't have coach's film yet, but use your imagination. There's a yawning chasm right up the middle for Fournette, an explosive player with really good NFL-level acceleration. I'm going to talk about one of them later in the show. Would hit that hole and would make something happen. Instead, Fournette weirdly side shuffles and gets captured by big Jarrell Casey for no gain. Wouldn't have been a home run. The defense was closing in there. But there's no excuse not to get through that first level. Oh, but worry not, because here's where the other terrible level of analysis will come in. In the end, this play happens. Under 5 minutes left, kind of a blowout, and suddenly Fournette has a 69-yard game. Nice. And people who like yards per carry will look at the box score and say, okay, well, nice night for Fournette. Solid, 4.4 yards a carry. Much better than Derrick Henry's night. They're pretty much the same guys, kids. And it's a good play to be big like this and make it through all these bodies and be pretty fast once you finally get going. Just acknowledge the limitations of the player. We'll be back in a second with more fun looking at Dalvin Cook. A quick break to say, if you've been thinking about getting a new mattress, if you haven't slept all that great, or you wake up stiff and sore from a lumpy old mattress, I don't know if that's you right now, but if and when it ever is, I hope you'll remember Lisa. I sleep on a Lisa mattress myself every single night. It's really great. I've literally never had a listener or a viewer who got a Lisa ever say they regretted it. Plus, Lisa will give you 100 nights to sleep on your new mattress, and if you don't love it, get your money back, no questions asked. And we can get you 15% off right now. Go to lisa.com, use the promo code HarrisTube. They're a great company. I can vouch they make a great mattress. Check them out. Do your research. I believe you'll land on Lisa, and we thank them for sponsoring today. Okay, I thought it would be fun to talk a little about Dalvin Cook through 2 games, what he's been good at, and what we don't really see him do much. It's been a bunch of big plays for Cook to this point, and this run, pretty typical so far. He is an accelerator. Remember how worried people were about the shuttle times? Oh no, he flunked the underwear Olympics. He'll be a bust. But anyone who watched him at Florida State knew, okay, yes, he's not LaShawn McCoy. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not an ankle breaker. But his top-end speed is very good, and more importantly, he only needs a few steps to get to that top-end speed, which is why he's a different kind of home run threat. There are subtle adjustments at the outset of some of his runs. They're not exactly what we see from a lot of elite backs. I think he's scanning to accelerate, and his quick moves don't really come across as extreme quickness, but rather subtle adjustments that, when they work, put him in position to do what he wants to do, which is accelerate. Even on his long touchdown run against the Packers, now there's absolutely a vector change, where if we slow it down and see him approach the line on an inside zone run, he sees the big opening back to his right, and he cuts for sure, but see how he glides out of the cut? That's a good way to keep your speed up as you change direction, but it's not really a hard angle. Cook is always cutting to accelerate. It's a 2-foot cut, and he kind of pitter-patters. He's essentially delaying a little bit while the defensive lineman is shoved out of his way, so now Cook can accelerate again. And once again, I emphasize, oh boy, can this dude accelerate. What's Dalvin Cook not going to do as much of? We'll show you this one from the end zone. As we slow it down on this inside handoff, you'll see it's not Dalvin Cook's intent to cut into what is a truly gaping hole. It's just really not his game. He's not a laterally quick player in this way. He's a north-south explosive player. If a run requires a hard 90-degree cut, most of the time you're going to see Cook run straight ahead. I don't offer this up to denigrate the player. I'm saying he has a style, and when it works amazing, and when it doesn't, he can get a little stuck. Not having the lateral escapability in addition to the north-south escapability gives him a little more risk of some trough games, some down games in the season, where if he just doesn't get the crease that he can run directly into and accelerate into, he will probably not create all that many of his own. But trust me when I say, if we get the healthy Dalvin Cook season finally, I'm all aboard. He's up to number 7 in my rest of the season running back ranks, which you can find at harrisfootball.com. He's number 12 among all players in my standard rest of the season ranks. My experience tells me his style can be slightly feast or famine, but he's a very good player, and I expect strong stuff as soon as this weekend in Week 3 against Oakland. And that's it for us this week. Thank you for watching. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Please subscribe, which really helps out a lot. Can't emphasize it enough. And I will talk to you right back here on Monday morning. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.